So we know what works. Now we just have to figure out how to take that to virtual and remote learning. So John Hattie has given us kind of those recommendations, right? We know direct instruction falls in the zone of desired effects. So what does virtual direct instruction look like now? Well, mostly that's going to be videos, right? When you have your students face to face, do you want to be talking at them or working with them, having them discuss? So Screencast-O-Matic, Screencastify, Edpuzzle, Video Ant allows your students to actually annotate your videos while you're talking. And then there's Jamboard for them to keep kind of a back channel too, if you'd prefer. You can also use Jamboard as a whiteboard while you're instructing, and WebEx has that feature as well. So we want to break instruction into mini lessons that are really truly no longer than 10 minutes. So if you normally have a 30-minute direct instructional period, that's 3 little videos. Provide students with something to do while they watch. Tell them where to stop and write things down. Give them opportunities to work with information as you're giving it to them in the video. And then review video lesson norms pretty much every time. They should close other tabs, they should pause and take notes frequently, they need to turn on their volume, and they will probably not do that all the time. So make sure you remind them, turn on your volume and turn off other audio distractions. And then have them watch, rewatch, and pause as needed. So John Hattie's research also says discussions are very high on our zone of desired effects on learning. So do a think, pair, share virtually. There's a couple ways to do this. You could have a spreadsheet and column 1 is partner 1, column 2 is partner 2, and have them talk alternately in the columns to the right of their names. And that spreadsheet can be the whole class and shared out. Now, the other way to do that is to use breakout rooms to pair kids by 2s or 3s. Remember that the think, pair, share starts, though, with that cognitive task on the individual. Individual students all have to complete at least one cognitive task before they pair up and share. So the breakout rooms will also be added to WebEx within the next month. Provide slides in advance with directions for students so they understand what to do. Back channel. So some of the tools for back channeling is YoTeach, which is a lot like the meet rooms were, but this is YoTeach is a different company. It does give the teacher, and so does back channel chat. They both give the teachers some control over students when they're not being appropriate. You can silence them and so forth. Padlet works as a great back channel. So does Google Docs. You could use the discussion features in WebEx. So some of those tips is provide clear directions on how you want them to interact digitally. They need to be reminded to be kind. They need to know they're supposed to be asking questions, answering questions, providing evidence. Like, give them some of that frame of what they need to do in an online discussion. And then provide debatable prompts and topics to get them going, to get them discussing. And then we don't grade that discussion part because we want that to be something that they are fully engaged and motivated to do. Virtual collaboration in slides. So you use Google Slides. Each student has their own slide. You want to make enough slides for every student and then monitor them as you assign. So this can be a lot of different things. This could be an introduction at the beginning of the year. They can put things on their slide that represent them. This could be creating a meme to represent something that they read. This could be writing 3 things from their current event that they found interesting. Well, then students can look at other people's slides, and in the notes underneath where it says presenter notes, that's where they can comment, and that also probably sometimes needs a script for them to follow, right? Some prompts to help them comment on other student work appropriately. Socratic seminar can go virtually. Communicate to the 2 groups of students which group they're in. You could split that alphabetically or randomize it and then send them a spreadsheet of who's in each group. Provide a Google form or an assigned document for observers to be taking structured notes while they're listening. Provide the discussion prompt and a timer, and use chat space as a back channel. So if they're a listener, if they're on that virtual outside circle, they might use the back channel chat space. If they're in the inner circle, the virtual inner circle, then they're going to be discussing, and those will be the voices that they hear in the group. Jigsaw can go virtual. So the first thing you're going to do in advance is assign who reads what parts of the article. Then you're going to create a shared document for each of the groups. So if I had if I had 6 parts to my article, I'm going to have 6 different documents. So everyone who read the section 1 or the section A of the article is on the same Google document, and I've provided prompts there for them to talk back and forth on those documents. You might even provide questions if they need more scaffolding. So after they've met with their like groups where everyone read the same part of the article, then they log on to your WebEx meeting. In that WebEx meeting, you can use the breakout rooms when they come out. You can assign them, again, another Google Doc or have them break into groups and discuss each part of their article. So if they're discussing so there's every student in that group now makes one article, and they're discussing what they've learned. So what you would want to do is have a digital exit ticket so that they can answer a few questions over the entire article, making sure that comprehension-wise, they got a little bit of every part, even though they really hyper-focused and read one part. So you could work on that jigsaw. The last part here that's super, super important is feedback. That feedback loop. We introduce the new information, and they don't know what to do with it. They spend some time thinking about it, which is where we need to begin our dialogue. We need to begin coaching them to think and ask themselves questions, because eventually they're going to not figure it out, or they're going to screw up somewhere and they're going to need us. And in that place where they mess up, they need to have some prompting on what questions they should be asking. And then they get the final grade. So if we do not get feedback and part of that process of the learning, it kind of kills motivation for them. So we want to make sure that we're coaching them in the process with just that dialogue of feedback before the grade that they actually receive. That can be on separate documents, so creating a Google Doc for each student, and the first column is the assignment. The second column is your feedback, and they always know that document will have your feedback on it, and the third column would be the student response. You might use the voice notes in Kaizena, but now if you use SpeedGrader in Canvas, you can also have voice notes and video recordings and typed feedback as well. If students are creating for you and turning in some type of video project, Comment Bubble allows you to leave comments and timestamp them throughout their video. And Google Quizzes, you can have some automatic feedback there as well for those formatives that you're going to try and do each day. So there's a blank quiz, and I've made it a quiz. I'm going to hit answer key, and then I'm going to click on answer feedback. So this would be multiple choice, and I can give links and videos for incorrect answers, but also for correct answers. And I can also leave those little notes for people so that when they click submit, they see question 1, they got it wrong, this would have been the right answer, here's the resources to figure it out. Now you don't have to have it show the right answers, you can uncheck that box. Question 2, they got correct, it says awesome job, so they get some type of positive reinforcement. And if you do it for short answer, it only works for short answer, not for a paragraph. You will do the same thing. Short answer, answer key. Any possible right answers they could type in. A lot of times I do things in caps and non-caps. So if they spell it wrong, well, that's just wrong, because I can't figure out all the ways they might misspell things, but I could put potential right answers. Then I can add answer feedback, and add links or videos. So those are some ways to do some automated feedback as well. So if we keep in mind what works in the classroom, we know science has shown us that John Hattie has got some really good research to support certain practices. Then we can take that information and we can put it into a virtual or remote environment.